I am very excited about this class that for many reasons. One of them as well is because I gather all my crystals. Many of them are sitting in different parts of my home. Some of them are specifically the ones that I work with clients when I see them presential, or as well in the online. Some of them are specifically that I locate them in my home for with a purpose, with an intention. Others are actually crystals that I carry them nearby my heart, in my bedside. So it's very special just put them here together and see them all together is a very special moment. And I feel it's not a moment so special only for me, but for them as well, because they get to interact one to another. And as well, I'm here using a honey and lavender incense that at the same time is helping here already to start clearing the energy of these crystals, using this opportunity as well to get some nice clearing of the energy of the crystals. And the crystals are very dear to my heart because I grew up in a very esoteric family in the aspect that my dad was always a searcher for truth, of spirituality. He walked different paths and he was always exploring things. So in our home we grew up like with different books about energy and my dad talking about these things. I had my astrological birth chart when I was already like teenager. So all these concepts were always in my life, was always part of my journey as well. And in my home as well, we used to have crystals. My dad always used to be like, when see a crystal shop when we travel or in the town that we are, it's always like very exciting about like the crystals, and I used to be super excited as well. And at that time I was not understanding even the deeper purpose of them. I was just happy to see, wow, they are so glowy, beautiful colors, and more from that aspects. But then I realized, wow, this world of the crystal was always there with me. It's almost that a part of myself as well. So teaching this class is very special because introducing you, maybe some of you already work with crystals and already have them as well in your path, but maybe some of you is still never tap into their power, or perhaps you already have crystals in your home, but you in a way still trying to understand what they are besides just looking beautiful in our home and besides being a decoration. So to start, let's just tune in, close your eyes. Let's just start developing already the intention of connecting with the crystals, landing that intention of connecting with this beautiful kingdom of the crystals, of these minerals. Feeling ourselves grounding our roots towards the earth. Feeling our roots going really deep and reaching the beautiful soil underneath. The roots of all trees and flowers, with the mycelium of the earth. And going even deeper with our roots and tapping in the beautiful crystal caverns underneath the soil. Anchoring ourselves in this frequency. tapping into the wisdom that these crystals hold, the memory that they are holding. And feeling all this beautiful energy landing in your body, calming down your body, becoming more present, letting aside any worry, any doubt. Right now, just bringing yourself in full presence to open the space for contemplation and intuition to start unfolding here. Beautiful. So I told you already a little bit of the story with the crystals, that I grew up already with them in my life. I used to always wear like pendants, earrings with the crystals, so they were really part of my life throughout teenager, being a child because of my dad. And then when I became an adult, when I started university, and they still continue with me, walking the path with me. But when I start traveling, no, actually before traveling, when I start wanting to understand more of energy, I start connecting more with the crystals, because they were one of the first elements that came to me to teach me about energy, to teach me about frequency, about vibration. So they were one of my first teachers. And at the beginning, when I did my first energy course, that at that time it was Reiki, the first thing that I did, because I always, since young, somebody say that I have healing powers in my hands, like a healer, a very powerful healer, that even healed my mom of a problem, a big problem that the medical system could not help her. And it's incredible that this man, under a pyramid, did this energy surgery and heal her, so create this miracle. Just to open up the space as well. I know not all of you might be totally understanding of this world, or maybe don't even believe, but that's why we are here in Aquaelle, to open our mind, to open our perspective, and just see these other ways as well, and the stories as well, that in this case, my life story, that I can tell you is very real. And so when I gave up my architectural career, I decided to dedicate myself to understand more about my healing hands, and I started even just tap into, okay, what I am, what I came here to do, because obviously the architectural path have like something missing and didn't fulfill. I was feeling that was not completely what I came here to do. So when I did my first training, that was Reiki. Obviously in Reiki, you use a lot your hands, and it's when I start exploring more the use of my hands for healing. And I never follow the traditional Reiki way of doing the energy work, and I don't consider my work as a Reiki, because I don't use any symbols from the Reiki. But I'm very grateful to Reiki and the lineage, because it was through that I started exploring more and feeling more the energy of my hands, because I knew I have this gift. But then I started developing more and more and more the sensation in my hands to really tap into energy, and that was through doing those courses at the beginning. And So then I start using as well, besides my hands, I start using this ally, because I consider the crystal my friends and my allies as well. And I start using them as well for the people that I start treating. So I will use my hands, and I will almost like help my hands to expand the energy and the healing work in deeper ways with the use of the crystals. So the crystal, for example, as we already start exploring, and you can see about energy centers and about chakras, we can work with crystals in a way following, kind of saying, the color of the crystals. So for example, you want to work in your throat chakra, you can start tapping more with the blue colors that correspond with the throat chakra. So you could be drawn to say, okay, I want to improve my communication, my expression. That's really a blockage I have within myself. You can start like exploring first with the blue crystals. The same as you want to deal with something to do with your heart center, and maybe or even physical problems with your heart, with your lungs. Naturally, you can start like tapping into the power of the green color crystals. And the green is the color of healing, and we start tapping with them through the color of the crystals. But as well, and the way that I will say that is the best way to start connecting with them, it is connecting with your intuition, opening the pathway of your intuition, and almost allow you to the crystals to tell you their story. So that's how I actually started working with crystals after. I have these trainings that I did, and they obviously taught me in this more conventional way. And I obviously read lots of books about crystals, and okay, this crystal is beneficial for this, and that crystal is beneficial for that. But and that be like very mental. And I'm not a very, I'm mental, obviously, to create and focus on all the things in my life, and I'm a person who mix a lot the, you will say, the left and right side of my brain. I'm a person that feels things, and at the same time, obviously, I use my mental capacity to actually create discernment as well with the feeling. So for me, just mental, that the crystal works just in a mental level, kind of saying, just using them because of the color and because of the benefit that in the book say, for me it's not, and it was not enough. It's almost that didn't click the information for me. And when I was traveling in Asia, I have this very dear friend of mine, Guy, that I remember I was like, okay, he have lots of crystals. He was one of the people that I saw like with the biggest crystal I ever have seen in a healing place. And I was like, okay, please, can you teach me more about how to use the crystals? I want to know. And then he say, don't ask me, ask them. And I was a little bit disappointed with that answer, because in a way I wanna like more of more information. Obviously, I want him to help me to understand even deeper and give me a little bit more prompts that just, okay, did you talk with them? Are you already speaking with them? And then I was like, okay, let's see what he's referring to. And I stay, at least at that period of time, I stay like a week in this healing center that is in Chiang Mai in Thailand. So I will like during the day, and he say, okay, you can just explore all the crystal here, you can touch them, you can feel them, this is your space as well. So every day I will go there and I will pick different crystals, and I will start feeling them. And I will start like, okay, crystal is like, can you talk to me? Can you tell me your secrets? can you tell me what you came here for? And that's how it started my story with the crystals. Obviously, I already was connecting with them before, and I traveled to places that they have lots of crystals, here in Brazil as well. But when I really start, in a way, mastering my connection with the crystal was at this point, when I was like completely looking through the lens of my intuition, almost like saying channeling, connecting with the crystal and talking and having this telepathic conversation with them. And obviously the crystal will not talk to you in a human language. So the language that I feel they talk to me is through frequencies, through vibration. And then obviously you start like understanding what they want to say to you. Because for example, I will just pick one that is, I feel sometimes it's easy, for me at least, and I feel that if you don't feel much energy in your hands, definitely the idea is that you can develop that throughout our school. That's the intention as well. But at the same time, as there is even a quiz in our in the school as well, that not all of us have like the same capacity or the same gifts. Like some people, like myself, I'm a person who feel a lot. My hands are like full of energy, and I feel the energy. I can tap into the frequency of things through feeling. I feel a lot throughout my body as well. I'm a person very kinesthetic. I can feel it within my body. So even the energy of a crystal, I will hold in my hand and I will feel through my hand, and I literally can feel it in my body as well. And definitely this was in a way always there, but this capacity expanded. So if you already are a person that can feel things, I'm sure you're gonna slowly start expanding and tapping more into this wisdom. But as well, this connection and this talk with the crystal can be as well just through inner knowing. That you, for example, and I'm holding this amethyst crystal here, and the inner knowing will be that you just know, start tapping with that inner wisdom within yourself, that they just speak to you, and you just know what this crystal is telling you. And definitely when you start, allow your imagination to expand. The only way we start tapping more with energy, and even in spirituality, I will say, is with the use of imagination. And that's why it's very interesting that the schools, the normal schools, they normally always focus in more the logical mind and not very much about intuition anymore, or about artistic expression. And then we see a very lack into, obviously, in our connection with the spirituality as humans. And then you can understand the gap as well. Where is it? There are many things, and obviously one of them is even at school, everyone teaches that doing math or doing these other subjects are more important, but drawing is really not important, singing is really not important, tapping with our intuition is really not important. But then when we go to life, we realize actually math, obviously I can use my calculator these days. It's like there are many things that they say that is so useful, but actually my intuition is like very important for even a small daily task in my life, just to be able to take a decision that comes from my heart, a decision that makes sense for me. So a way to connecting with the crystals is through the use of your intuition. So start exploring the crystals just with your intuition. And I normally use, like for example, for me, my right hand is the hand where I feel more the energy, because the left is kind of the receiver, more the receiver. So it's kind of, this is the giver and this is the receiver. So I normally will hold the crystal in my receiver hand. And sometimes it's easy to tap which hand is your receiver and which one is the giver. But for example, I write with my right hand, so that's like kind of the giver. And then the left, that is the one that I don't write with. And maybe someday I will. But right now, no. So this is normally my receiver. And I obviously explore and I change it as well. I tap one hand, I tap the other. So we can do that even if you have a crystal right now. You can start placing in one hand. And you can try first, for example, this is the hand that you write. So this is the hand that you start using with. And I choose a purple color. And we're gonna start with kind of the purple, and then I'm gonna go in more of a black crystal. Because I went to two extremes, in the sense that in a way the chakras, the higher chakras, kind of say, no, the colors, purple, even clear quartz and blue, have this frequency that is kind of faster and higher. So when I tap with these crystals that are in this color, I feel almost as my body's like, whoo, like lifting himself up, and it's a very high frequency. So it's very sharp, very high. And you can start exploring whatever crystal you have, even if it's no, this one is amethyst. It's one of my favorite, well, I love all of them, but amethyst definitely is one of my favorite ones. And I feel if every person can have an amethyst in their home, is very special, and in a way I would say essential, but obviously that's up to everyone's choice. So this is a amethyst, and I just start feeling the energy. So I'm holding, and with one hand I start feeling, and it's almost like I start expanding the energy. So first I come closer, and maybe when the closer I am, in a way, the stronger I feel, but not really, because actually I start sometimes tapping even with the energy more of the crystal when I start going more beyond the crystal. It's almost because I feel like, almost like I'm pulling the energy up of the crystal, and I can feel it like coming all the way up, feeling that they go. And I can even feel the energy like in my palm here as well, like almost as I feel that maybe at some point they will like levitate, because that's the sensation, that they are almost like levitating here in my hand. But when I start exploring with the crystals, and I would just do that, like I will just pick any crystal, and like I said, let's pick up this black crystal now. So normally, at least for me, when I tap and feel the crystals, the black energy is more like the earth, you know, even more volcanic, more earthly, more magnetic. So I feel more that magnetic energy in the black crystals, and they feel like they really, it's almost that is this roots that they really ground you on the earth. They are really like powerful in that sense. And when I tap with them, with this crystal, for example, that is a black tourmaline, that is as well another crystal that I will say we have here. This is actually we have in our home, and it's a huge one, because this is really good for protection, and I absolutely love black tourmaline, and it's another crystal that I will say is one in the top of the list to have in your home as well. For protection, it's good for EMS stress as well. So it's brilliant to have. Even you can put it near devices, near the Wi-Fi, near the TV. And it is an amazing crystal. And this crystal, normally the more grounding crystals are some that I really feel for autistic children, because I've been working 10 years already with special needs children and sensitive children. Normally they are more ungrounded, and these crystals that bring more rooting, more groundiness is really important for them. And it's funny how sometimes many of these children naturally, they sometimes it's funny because obviously I will tend to go to this purple or a pink one or even this one more sparkly. But it's funny how some of these children will literally go to the black one and that be their favorite. So sometimes it's even your favorite crystal. That's another way of tapping with the crystal. It's like you just feel drawn to that crystal. So then it's something that that crystal wants to talk to you. And that's another way that we start connecting with the crystal. Like, for example, you can even, to have at home, you can choose that crystal that calls your attention. So when I feel the energy of this, like I say, it's more grounded. I feel almost that with the other, I was like, woo, like this traveling to the heavens, almost like with the crystal. This one I feel more like, oh, I embody in my body. I feel stronger in my body. I feel very grounded. I feel stable. It's very anchoring. And as well, this tourmaline crystal, I particularly use this crystal already for physical healing. When I had like a surgery as well, I use it for like helping to help the wound, like the scar. So I definitely, that's one of the benefits as well that I tap in with this tourmaline. And this is, all this that I'm telling you about the crystal is something that I learned from them. Not by reading in the book, but literally feeling and tapping into my body. Because when I place this in the space, for example, where the wound was, I could literally feel, it's almost that somebody was like, you know, when somebody's is helping, almost like healing and healing and healing. It was almost like a little bit painful, but in a good way. And I definitely, when I put it in my body, I feel like grounded and calm. So it's not that I learn the benefits of it just by reading somewhere. It was about me accessing this information. And both ways are valid, because it's obviously good to see as well their benefits. But then it's very important for you to have your own experience with them as well. And that's why I'm gonna have a PDF as well with some of the crystals and their benefits, and use it, a mix of things specifically that I have tapped with them. And you can, there are lots of books. There are, I'm gonna put as well in our library of books recommendation. There is the Crystal Bible that you can search for the crystals. But like I say, the first way I would say, choose your your favorite ones, the crystals that call your attention, and just start talking to them. And then if you want, you can follow as well my recommendations and choosing, for example, the amethyst. The rose quartz is another one that I really love, because it's all about love. Even when I say rose quartz, it's almost like already feel, wow, la vie en rose, you know, bringing this softness to our life. Who don't need softness? You know, we all go through struggle, and we all need that unconditional love within ourselves. So the rose quartz really helped me to tap into that unconditional love. So for self-love is an amazing crystal. And another thing about rose quartz that I love as well, that I feel that they are not only helping balancing our heart center, or self-esteem, our self-worth, our self-love, but at the same time they as well are very protection stone. Because when we are full of love, when we are loving ourselves, when we are feel worthy, obviously we kind of ignite this light that is protection as well. Because when you are fully empowered in who you are, and you trust and you know that you are worthy of love, no matter what other person can say to you, you're gonna know what you think about yourself and what you are and the values that you are holding. And that's the same frequency that I feel she creates. Even if you're still in the path of developing this worthiness, this self-love inside, definitely rose quartz is gonna be the pathway to that. So for me, it's the stone of love, and it's the stone as well of protection, but in a very loving way. And that's even in reference with the pink color as well, because I feel the pink for me works as well as a color for protection, and at the same time, obviously, the color that start tapping into the essence of this unconditional love and very maternal embrace. And as well, another thing about crystals, like this one that I'm holding here is a more raw rose quartz, and you can see that this raw rose quartz will have a certain quality. So for example, feeling the energy of this rose quartz, I will feel more this, you know, and the sound come from the heart as well. It's kind of, I feel it's the heart expression. That's why even the sound ma is the sound of the mother, and it's ma, and it's exactly what I feel when I touch this crystal. It's like, I can breathe now, I can trust, I can relax. It's this very maternal energy. And anyway, when they are big like that, sometimes it's harder to hold in your hands. So sometimes it's easier just tapping in them like this. Very good. So I just feel that very warming energy, very stable as well in a way, because they feel like more grounded. It's almost very present in here, in the now. So I feel in a way as well help you to come back in the moment present. So this is a more raw crystal, and as you see, the crystal as well come like kind of lapidated in different shapes. So for example, here I have, this is lapidated in the shape of a heart, this is lapidated in the shape of a mushroom, and this is lapidated in the shape of a skull. That, for example, this skull that I bought in a period of time where I was suffering a little bit with love, and I saw this, and I felt, oh, the love, like the love with a partner, or sometimes it's impermanent as well, and that's totally fine as well, because things alchemize and transform. So I really wanted that symbol to remind me. And it's very funny because many people say that the many ancient knowledge is being in a way contained and held in crystal skulls that are, and many people have this crystal they found, they say from the time of Lemuria and Atlantic. Many of these skulls are carrying the wisdom of these timelines. And I feel that, wow, I really love, even if it's small, it's not like these bigger ones. I really feel that in a way this is helping me to access as well part of my lineage and part of myself as well. So I really love this one. I love all my crystals.